What's up guys, and welcome back to my vlog. I'm about to head to REI right now to grab a couple last minute essentials for my trip to Bali. I leave for Bali in like 3 days. Yeah, so I just realized I didn't record any of that with the mic on because I had plugged it in the headphone jack. Thank God I'm not somebody that makes a living off of audio. But yeah, so right now I'm headed down to REI. I'm gonna grab this waterproof pack for my backpack, and then I'm gonna come right back here and give you my my 6.5 essential Bali tips for packing and going to Bali. I like to keep my titles nice and short and to the point. But right now, it's looking pretty bad outside. It's supposed to be a crazy storm, and I'm trying to ride this scooter, so I need to get in and out of REI as fast as possible, which means on to the next clip. Thanks. Thank you. All right. I don't know if you can hear me right now for the wind. That pretty much concludes my run. Grabbed an Nalgene bottle because my hydro flask is so heavy. Don't feel like taking that across the world. And then also grabbed the rain cover, which I probably should be using right now. But yeah, that concludes my run to REI. Welcome to my Bali packing vlog. I think I named it like 10 Bali essentials for somebody who's never been to Bali and has no expertise at all. I think the list thing is like what you gotta do, and it's like people have so much ADD that lists are just a whole lot easier. But as you can see right now, my bed is a mess because tomorrow at noon I am about to embark on a 24-hour flight. Now, obviously not one flight, planes can't make it that far, but I'm going about 15 hours from New York City to Seoul, and then about another 8, well, I guess that's 22 hours, another 8 hours to Bali. Leaving Bali, meeting up with my friend Adam. He just moved out there, quit his job in New York City. He is my roommate from college. We're starting out in Canggu, then I think we're going to Ubud, and then we are going to Nusa. I'm gonna scuba dive in Nusa Lembagnan for 2 days, and then stay in Nusa Penida for the final 2 days. Heading back, 10-hour layover in Seoul. Gonna see Seoul as much as I can in those 10 hours and as much as my poor tired body will let me, and then heading right back to New York. But before we get to the return trip, we have to pack for the trip itself, and that's why I'm gonna take you straight to my packing quarters. So what is up everybody, and welcome to my packing quarters. Super organized, sponsored by Amazon and Rhetorik's Closet. Rhetorik's Closet plug. I think I still have the Cyber Monday coupon up there, and I'm just gonna leave it up there for anybody that wants it because I'm feeling good. Not the prettiest thing you've ever seen, but it'll do. So right here we have tank tops. I guess they're technically jerseys, but my friend said bring tank tops, bring sleeveless shirts because it is super humid. Sun's out, water guns out. This right here, stack of t-shirts. This right here, if you can see it, yep, that's in frame. These are my Muay Thai shorts, board shorts, running shorts, obviously socks, undies, gotta do it. This right here is a hat from Africa. Both of these are, I forget the Etsy that I got it from. All the proceeds go to paying fair wages. Seattle sombrero, got it in Seattle, actually kind of overpaid for it instead of getting it off Amazon just because you can't see a Seattle sombrero in Seattle and then order it off of Amazon. K-Way jacket, not sponsored, no plug, but it is the craziest rain jacket. And then on to my camera stuff. Here Here is a bit of the camera gear that I'm bringing. I have my drone. You guys have seen it. It's the DJI Mavic Pro. Just bought an extra battery that has my email on it. Hopefully JT blurred that out. Extra batteries for the A7R II that I'm using right now. This is a waterproof iPhone case. And then I got this little guy right here so that if I ever drop it anywhere, it will float. SD cards, GoPro Hero 5, a wrist strap right here. This is a hand strap. This thing, I don't think anybody that's ever seen a vlog has seen this. This is some new technology. I'm holding this camera, so obviously got the A7R II with me. Very essential. I remember when I went to Hong Kong, my biggest regret was not having good footage from it. So going back and looking on the memories, it's nice and I have those memories in my head, but I really wish that I would have documented it more. The fact that I spent 10 days in Hong Kong and there is not a single vlog with that footage is a travesty. So I'm gonna make sure that that does not happen on this Bali trip. I guess I'm supposed to come up with like 10 things. Isn't that what travel people do? All right, without any further ado, here are my 10 tips for traveling to Bali for somebody that's never been to Bali and has absolutely no clue what they're talking about. Here we go. I definitely said 10 trips. I meant 10 tips. So here are your 10 tips from somebody who has never been to Bali before and has absolutely no clue what he's talking about. Dear God, can you imagine if I vlogged like that? Okay, here are the 10 tips. I promise this transition is gonna take you to your 10 Bali trips. I mean, you don't even need them from me. Why in the world would you be looking for trip tips? I can't even say tips. Why would you even care? I've never been. I don't know what I'm doing. I'll do a recap at the end and those will... Okay, I promise this transition will go to my tips. Wait, pause. It will go to the 10 tips of Bali. All right, tip number 1. Always make sure to wait until the very last minute to pack for a 22-hour flight trip and 2-week trip across the world. Practicing stress for your vacations will help you when you're stressed for your work. That's tip number 1. Step number 2 is the snap pack technique. SPT. We're working on it. It's patent pending. It's not the snap back technique, which would be bring snapbacks, which would be really nice, but my head's too big and it's always been big, and I've had the average adult size head since I was 12 years old, and snapbacks have always seemed so convenient, but I've never been able to wear them. This is the snap back. Oh God, I can't even freaking speak. Technique number 2, the snap pack technique. Not to be confused with the snapback like I was talking about earlier. This is the snap pack technique. Snap pack technique. 1, 2. Did it work? It worked! There it is, the snap pack technique. 1, 2, snap, and it's all good. So on to tip number 3. So tip number 3 has to do with footwear. Now I'm going during the wet season, so that means I need a pair of shoes that can get wet. Now you guys know that I'm super into like high-end, really fashionable, like, what is it called? Clout stuff. So I'm gonna give you a very high-end option. If it's out of your budget, that's fine. I just want to make sure that you are getting the best, most fashionable product for all your Bali Instagram posts. Here they are. Boom, these right here, they're the Gucci Balls Man open heeled loafer. They're beautiful, right? Matter of fact, I don't think you're appreciating the beauty here on tip number 3, so I'm gonna give you a nice, beautiful product montage in 3, 2, 1. Now on to tip number 4. Now if you're gonna hike in this wet terrain, you need some high traction, lightweight footwear that is able to get wet. Now I've had this footwear for a very long time and it comes highly recommended from pretty much everybody. I love it. I think that it could be a very important part of your Bali trip. Here is tip number 4. Well, wait, not those. These right here, baby. These are the Air Hobbit 7s. High traction, very lightweight, highly recommended. So what is tip number 5, you might ask? And I'm here to tell. If you ask, then I shall tell. And ladies and gentlemen, tip number 5 is in fact just a tip. No, but really it is bring a pen and a notebook. I think one of my favorite things when I go on vacation is unplugging. Now I will have my laptop too because I need to dump footage and I need to send it back. But when I am not at home, I don't like to be on my phone. I don't like to constantly Instagram. I think one of the most fun things for me when I travel to the other side of the world is resetting. And I think that sometimes when you're stressed out, a big thing that we tend to do without realizing it is distract ourselves with speaking to people, scrolling, a bunch of unproductive things. Even when you feel that pressure and that tense feeling in your brain of, I need to speak or I need to distract myself, write that down. It's fun to go back and reflect on it. I know that this tip segment is kind of a parody because I have absolutely no clue what I'm talking about when it comes to going to Bali. I do know the benefits of traveling and taking some time to yourself and being able to do things like this. Take some time away from whatever you feel is distracting you from what you really need to do. If you feel like you have to take people out of your life for certain periods and just put a pause button on some things, if it helps in the long run, do it. Because I tell you what, if you keep going down this path and suppressing these feelings that you need to get out, it's not going to benefit anybody. Whether or not you think it is benefiting somebody in the short term, I promise you in the long term, it's going to bubble up and explode. And that's why you're going to bring this notebook, is to write down all these things that you're feeling when you finally have some alone time to reflect on it. But enough of that, on to tip number 6. Honestly, I guess tip number 6 is don't make a video that says 10 tips on Bali when you don't have 10 tips on Bali. So that's tip number 6, and 7, 8, 9, and 10. Who knows what they are? Maybe I'll add it in another video, but that's it for this one. I'm about to head to my friend's creator. I think it's just like a creator gathering down at 393 Broadway with my homie Willie and Dotan. But seriously, don't stress about the things you don't need to stress about. Be present when you go places like this. And that's it for this video. I will see you guys on the next episode, which will probably be something in Bali. That makes sense, right? This is packing for, yeah. See you guys in Bali. One for me, sweet Tannenbaum sitting in my living room, took away her freedom and tore down the forest she is from. Wildfires burning her desires, now there's ashes on the floor, my hands are dirty and I'm feeling numb. Sweet Harriet perched upon her